let's talk about Amazon for a second. Anybody notice anything different about the buy box? I'm noticing a little bit of craziness on the buy box. I personally, I'm not selling on eBay, but I do sell on Amazon for like 90%, and then 10% is Mercari. We can get into that a little bit, but the buy box on Amazon, I feel like it's acting up again. Not sure if anybody else is having that issue. Let's see. What's going on, Anthony Vieira? How you doing? Michael Riley, how you doing? What's up? North Pole Sound Design, what is up? And let's see. Let's get started. So Tip Jeff 38 asks, is it better to sell on Amazon or eBay? eBay does not charge a monthly fee. Cool. So what I will say, I'll start off by saying I did used to sell on eBay. I don't sell on eBay anymore. It's a totally different question, right? It's a totally different thing. But I can tell you that I personally think it's better to sell on Amazon. Now, I might be a little biased because I don't sell on eBay, but I did used to sell on eBay. And let me tell you why I think that. eBay, I found that when I sold on eBay, I was being charged percentage fees, and there's all these different percentage fees, and you get like one lump sum fee at the end of the month. So if you miscalculate or you do anything like that, surprise, this is what you owe eBay. I'm not a big fan of that. Amazon is very straightforward. Yes, their fees are a little higher, and you get charged their monthly $40 a month fee, but you gotta look at the volume, right? And it really depends, because if you're selling on eBay, you could be a huge seller. If you're not selling on eBay, you can be a huge seller. I mean, it's very subjective, but let me just get to the point. You pay $40 to Amazon, right? Now, for the past 60 days, I've sold 35 almost. Let me lower this for 1 second. Hold on 1 minute. Hold on 1 second. All right, where were we? So, Amazon, you're definitely going to do more volume. There are big sellers on both ends, Amazon and eBay. But Amazon, if you do it right, you're going to do more volume. I personally do way more volume. I could never imagine filling 3,000 to 4,000 units a week on eBay. I wouldn't have time for anything else, you know. And that's another beauty that I love about Amazon, is Amazon allows you to focus on your business, take your products, send it into Amazon, have Amazon do the picking and the packing and the shipping and the customer service. And yes, you do pay a premium for that. But man, I mean, you want to talk about scalability? I would never focus solely on eBay again after dealing with Amazon. And quite frankly, since I've stopped selling on eBay, I've been able to focus on Amazon way more to help scale my business. So, I mean, to answer the question, you know, what's better to Amazon or eBay? It's subjective. You got $1 million sellers on eBay. You got $1 million sellers on Amazon. I think eBay. I think Amazon FBA is the way to go. It's the future. Let's see. Everyone smash the like button. Yes, sir. Thank you, Logan. If you're watching this right now, smash that like button. That helps me out. I appreciate it. Amazon handling the customer service part makes it well worth the $40 a month. Stu, absolutely. If you think about the best part, at least for me, in my business is sourcing products. That is the absolute, when you're out there, you're sourcing, you're hunting, right? We're hunters. That's the best part. And to not have to worry about shipping, customers, and all this other stuff. Amazon takes full responsibility for that for $40 a month. And you're selling 2, 3, 4, 5,000 products a week. It's worth it. Now I wasn't always selling 3, 4, 5,000 products a week. You work up to that like any business. Let's see, we got, has anyone else noticed a lack of in-store deals lately? Walmart especially. BrickSeek is accurate, but the associates tell me have to order online. They really seem to be pushing online Black Friday. Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of Walmart clearance has just been straight trash. And, and that's okay. It's that time of year. It is going to get better. But right now, I haven't experienced anything where I see a deal in store and an associate might refer me to online. Haven't seen that, but I'm sure I'll run into it. Especially this week, and I'll be out and about sourcing and filming and all that good stuff. When do we need a reseller license? Do we even need that at all? So I guess you have to ask yourself this, Sweets City, are you selling as a business or a sole proprietor? Are you selling as an individual? A reseller license is great to have when you are either applying for tax exempt status, or if you're going to apply for wholesale accounts with distributors. They're probably going to want to see a resale license because they want to make sure that you are legit. While not necessary, it is going to help you scale your business by opening up those accounts. And if you start selling volume, then you definitely want to look into tax exempt status in these stores. Let's see. So Target has been actually halfway decent with me. I've been finding a lot of full price items that I can sell on Amazon for premium. The only thing else I found at Target too is the fact that their clearance section was on fire in electronics. I've been finding a lot of prepaid phones, the UMA landline, what do you call it? The UMA landline. It's some kind of like internet landline. That system's been $23. I've been selling it for $75. So electronics has been really good in Target, especially Target. Walmart had its clearance blowout, I think last month. And then it was like pick clean. Security systems gone. Crossly record players gone. Headphones, Xbox gone. Like they flew. So Target was good. I haven't been into a Target in about a week or so, but I'm gonna go check out one this weekend. Hopefully they get some better stuff. Guys, if you're just tuning in, I really cannot talk. Someone get me a beer or a coffee. If you're just tuning in, I'm answering your questions. If you have questions about retail arbitrage or Amazon or online selling, or you want to ask me why I didn't shave today, or whatever, this is a casual hangout, and hope to help educate anybody who's looking to be or get into the reselling business or the wholesale business. While I do not know all the answers, I'm an average person just like all of you. I'll try to answer your question to the best of my knowledge. And I also just want to tell everybody thank you for being here on a Friday night at 6:42. I really appreciate you being here, and make sure you smash that like button. Ask your questions in the chat and I will be sure to answer them here on this live. Let's keep it moving. The next question: any issues with voice of the customer experience rating they're trying to push on sellers? Yeah, so I have 12 products that were in the red. But the funny thing about it is that out of those 12 products are from the life of my Amazon account, which is going on 3 years. I'm not sure when they fall off per se, or if they ever fall off. But as I look at some of those voice of the customer reviews, a lot of that stuff, man, is just out of my hands. You know what I mean? It's out of my hands. A lot of it. Like, for instance, one of the items, the customer kept receiving the wrong item. And when I look back on my report, it's an item that I sent into FBA. It's an item that I wanted Amazon to sticker, and they put the wrong sticker. So, like, I don't know. They put the wrong sticker, but then they put it back on the seller. I haven't had any bad voice of the customers lately. Somebody's calling my phone. I haven't had any bad reviews lately, and I've been doing very good with customer feedback lately. We have a lot of great reviews, so just make sure you're paying attention and make sure you get on Amazon, because even Amazon makes mistakes. As a matter of fact, Amazon makes a lot of mistakes. You know what I mean? Especially when you're dealing at such a volume. They're such a huge company. I do have a company that deals with like my damaged or lost items also. It's super important. I do have a link in the description. I throw it in there because this is what I use. It's a refunds manager. You know, they take a percentage of your sales, but you know something? It's something that I wouldn't be doing in the first place. So, you know, it's worth it for me to pay that percentage to make sure that they're on top of getting my lost, damaged, you know, whatever inventory, getting that money reimbursed to me. I can guarantee you, if you're not using a like refund service, you're losing out on a lot of money. I promise you that. So you don't have to go with what I go with, Refunds Manager, but if you want to check them out, the link is in the description. That's who I use. They've treated me well. I have no complaints with them, so yeah. Frontier Flipper says, why didn't you shave today? I did not shave because I had to keep it gangster. You know what I mean? When you're busy and you're hustling like me, you don't get time for shaving. You know what I mean? I just don't have time for this. I am going to shave tonight, though. I should have shaved for the live, but it's okay. The hustle, it doesn't, you know what I mean? I don't get time. Let's see, Anthony Rivera says, hey, Richie, aside from RA, where do you source your inventory? Do you get it from USA distributors or international? Yeah, so the bulk of the products I get is from the USA. I can tell you that all my distributors are from the USA. There's one distributor that's from China that I still work with. I did have two, but the other one was garbage. So, and that's another thing. If you do source international, be very, very, very careful. You don't want to get burned. You know what I mean? Let's see. Make millions, absolutely. We're making millions. So, Richie, how do you prep? Let's see. Odd-shaped big toys, like those Ryan Surprises or Hatchimals. Do you polybag them since they're pretty big? They're not really fun. Okay, so this is what I normally do. What I do, and this works for me. This isn't going to work for everybody, okay? And, you know, a lot of resellers get on my back about this, but at the end of the day, this is what works out best for me. And here it goes. When it comes to prepping toys, odd-shaped toys or whatnot, things that have to be polybagged or whatever, I pay, generally, 8 out of 10 times, I pay Amazon to do it. Why? My time is valuable. Especially now where I'm doing more volume, my time is extremely valuable, right? So if it costs me a couple bucks, you know, if I have 250 products and those products are going to take me a couple hours to sticker and polybag and all that stuff, what I do is I pay Amazon, right? I see what it's going to come to per polybag. You can see all the prices as you go, and you can go back and change it and whatnot. I see what the cost is going to be to have Amazon take care of this for me. And then I'll divide that to how many hours I think it would take myself. If I think it would take 2 or 3 hours, then I'll take the cost of what it's going to cost me, divide it by 2 or 3. And that's how much I would have to pay myself per hour to do that. And I have to think to myself, is that worth it to do it? And a lot of times it is, sometimes it's not, but I'm just really pressed for time and I want to get these products out. Let Amazon deal with everything. That's just what I do. Now, if you're just starting out, I would suggest you do everything. You know, buy 100 poly bags for $20 or whatever size you need. You know, buy, sticker. I started out, I have my Dymo now, and some people don't even like my Dymo. They tell me to get a Rolo or something, or a Zebra, or whatever they're called. But I started out with those like 30 a sheet stickers that you like put in like your inkjet printer, and I would print out my labels. Oh my God, I was so glad to get rid of that thing. But I had to do it myself because when you first start, you don't have a lot of income to be paying Amazon to do it. They're going to eat up a lot of your profit. But once you get going and you're doing a lot of volume, you can eat that, and now you have that time back to yourself. Maybe you want to go out, maybe you're doing YouTube, maybe you want to do filming, maybe you want to do something, maybe you want to spend that time with your family, those 2-3 hours it would take you to pack. Now you can do something else. Is it worth your time? And that's subjective, right? Because not everybody's going to agree that paying somebody $16 to $18 an hour to do the type of work that you need is going to be worth it, and that's fine. Maybe you would pay somebody $12, but you got to make that decision. But when it comes to the odd toys, that's what I do. I pay Amazon to do everything. Where I kind of come into trouble too is like when I buy those big, large like Nerf guns. They're like huge and long, and you can't just fit them in a box. I have to get really creative, and what I do is I'll take the large boxes from Walmart, and I'll, you know how like the box is made, and then on one the tab is glued. I'll take that glue off and I'll spread the box out completely flat, and I'll place the product, or if I have 3 to 5 of them, I'll place the products, stack them, okay? And then I'll take the box and Frankenbox that whole thing. And what I'll have to do is I'll eventually have to cut the lines to make the creases. Like, I'll do a video on it. But odd boxes are such a pain in the butt because you're literally creating new boxes and all this other stuff. But that's what I do for toys. 1, I pay Amazon to prep everything generally, and 2, I have to do a lot of Frankenboxes because there's a lot of longer toys that are longer than 22 inches. Let's see. Kobe says, "Sup, Richie? How do you prep Arch?" Oh, we already answered that. Brian D'Souza in the house. Just wanted to share my Make Millions score for the day. All right, Brian, what you got? I bought 5 thermostats at Kohl's on clearance at $45 each. Were they smart thermostats like the Nest thermostat E's that were on clearance at Walmart for $45 or for $40? Listed them merchant fulfilled at $125 and sold all 5 before I got home. That's a boss move right there. That's boss right there. Good flip, man. Great flip. On top of that, got, oh, you're not done yet. I'm sorry. On top of that, got 60 Kohl's cash to spend in future things. Yeah, see, man, I gotta go to Kohl's. I see a lot of people doing 08 Kohl's. I honestly, listen, I'm a hustleaholic, right? But I'm sleeping on Kohl's. I have to get to Kohl's. I'm gonna start checking out Kohl's more online, especially closer to Black Friday. I might even walk into a Kohl's and do a video this weekend and see if we can find anything at Kohl's to flip. It's a different video. I've never filmed in Kohl's before. Brian, you might have gave me a great idea. Let's see, Logan shouting out Brian, nice flip. Yes, indeed. North Pole Sound Design says, I got one customer upset. Item was shipped without a box. Clearly not responsible. Oh man, I got 2 stories for you. One where I shipped items without a box, and the only time I know what you're saying. So Amazon probably put the shipping label on like the toy box and shipped it, and they probably wanted to use it for a gift. And yeah, that stinks sometimes when you get it like that. But the only time I ship without a box are for oversized items. Like I scored some 6 candle or some 6 light brass chandeliers from Lowe's. I bought them for $35. I merchant fulfilled those bad boys for almost $200. Sold them within 48 hours, and they were big box chandeliers. You know, what am I going to put a box inside a box? That's just dumb. So I literally put the shipping label on it and just prayed that they were going to be okay with that, assuming it wasn't near Christmas. Hopefully it wasn't going to be a gift. It was for a renovation or something. And I actually got some positive feedback on one of them saying it was shipped quickly. I was really grateful for that. So that's the only time I really don't use a box to put a box inside a box. So when it's a big chandelier. Oh, I wish they had those chandeliers again. Those were the Kitchener, the 6 light Kitcheners for $35. Pushed them for almost $200 a piece. Let's see. Oh, and the other thing was, I don't know if you guys remember back with the Game of Thrones when they came out with those limited edition Oreos. I think I need a water or something. Listen, put in the chat, will you guys get upset if I get something to drink real quick? I gotta run downstairs. It's gonna take me 2 minutes. You guys cool with that? Or we're gonna have people leaving because you're not cool that I take off a bit. I take a 2-3 minute break to get a friggin' drink or something. You guys good with that? Let me know. Alright, cool. Guys, give me like 60 seconds. I'll be right back. I literally left my line so I could get a drink if I'm coughing. No, I didn't even cough. Whew. Back, baby. That's how we gotta do it. Thanks for waiting for me. So, back to where I was. So I talked about how I shipped, you know it, got the water and the beer. So, we were talking about the chandelier, and then the other thing was, what the hell was it? Oh, the Game of Thrones. So back when they had the Game of Thrones, okay, they came up with these limited edition Oreos. Do you guys remember the limited edition Oreos from Game of Thrones? Man, let me tell you why. So I got so this ties back to voice of the customer. You ready for this one? And this was completely not my fault. I went around to Targets because it was a Target exclusive. I grabbed 76 of those Oreos, okay? Sent them into Amazon. Literally packed them like, I put like tissue, not tissue, but like, you know, wrapping paper and bubble on the bottom of these boxes. I put an Oreo, bubble wrap, Oreo on top, bubble wrap, okay? I wanted to make sure this was getting there, not in pieces, okay? Packed nice and tight, right? Don't you know Amazon was sending these packs of Oreos in bubble mailers? Bubble mailers. So you take a guess on when that got to the customer, what that box of Oreos or bag, right? Because you have to pull back the thing. I mean, the Oreos are touching the top. So, you know, in a bubble mailer being thrown around, my God, I got so many bad voice of the customers. Item was crushed, blah, blah, blah. I was getting bad feedback saying Amazon wouldn't refund them because it was a food item and I had to get it removed because it wasn't my fault, right? Oh, that was such a nightmare. I'll never do cookies like that again, at least not FBA. Like if I'm going to mail those cookies, I'm going to make sure that they're packed nice in a box and they're not going anywhere. A bubble mailer. I can't. Anyways, that was my rant there. That was, I couldn't believe that. Let's see. Do you bother with the Black Friday? Hold on, let's back up. We got a lot of questions coming in, guys. Thanks for being here again. Drop your questions in the chat. This is a Friday night casual Q&A. Thanks for being here. And smash that like button, please. Let's see. I got one customer upset. Item was shipped without. Oh yeah, but yeah, okay, that's where we left off. Thanks, Logan. Yep, I tried to see. Okay, started with the sheet. Yep. Dymo way better. Yeah, I agree. I like the Dymo. Some people think that the Rollo is even faster, or the Zebra, or whatever it is, that prints out faster. But I feel like a faster printer has more room for error. I'm just glad I don't have to do the 30 per sheet again. Honestly, I mean, let's keep it real. Let's see. Hey, Richie, do you bother with the Black Friday deals? Like today, Target had some video games on sale. Do you buy them up or not because everyone else is buying them too? So, I mean, Brian, it really depends. For me, honestly, if that's a national sale, then you know everybody's going to be on that listing. And it's not to say that you're not going to be able to make money on it, because if the margins are right, you can always wait for everybody to sell out kind of thing, and you might be waiting a while. With video games, I tend to like the clearance, really low-priced video games than just video games on sale, unless they're like I remember last year, like they had some Switch games for $20, $15, and they were selling for $50, $60. I didn't catch it today, but closer to Black Friday, I feel like Black Friday, the night of, or even, for instance, Walmart, his little tidbit, Walmart said that their Black Friday deals, like their actual Black Friday deals, start Wednesday after 7 p.m. So I'm definitely going to check it out. I think it's going to be a crap show. I think there's going to be a ton of people going online. I think websites are going to be crashing. I really do think that. Am I going to be on the... Oh, yeah, I'm going to have like 10 tabs open. We're going to have Target, Walmart, Kohl's. We're going to have all these... We're going to have all these tabs open. We're going to try to do some massive OA throughout the day. On Wednesday, I'm going to keep my eye open. Thursday, Friday, that weekend, Cyber Monday, like... It's on. Oh, wait, like the UPS guy is going to hate my guts. Let's see. Just about ready to retire one more year and really thinking about switching over to eBay and just travel. Hit the road, visit some old school buddies, and work that Amazon game. Yeah, I mean, if you like eBay, that's good for you. If you could do it, you know what I mean? That's great. I think that's fabulous. I actually thought about... running the Amazon business on the road and traveling. And I was like, you know, I could literally travel and live anywhere and still run a successful Amazon business. And that's one of the greatest feelings in the world, to know that, for instance, I live in Massachusetts. Not a fan of Massachusetts. The cold weather, the crazy up and down seasons, and a whole other reason why I don't like Massachusetts, okay? Now, if I wanted to move somewhere like down in Florida, where it's nice all the time, except for hurricane season and when it rains and all this other stuff, and in the summertime it can get oppressively hot, I could do that. You know what I mean? I can work out of my garage in Florida if I want to. I can move to friggin' Kentucky, Nebraska, wherever I want to go to, and I could still run my business. Crazy. But very grateful for that. Let's see, Richie, the thermostats were the Ecobee 3 Lite brand. Okay. Ecobee is a good brand. It's a good brand. I shipped a crap ton of swimming pools in the original box. So that's what they were mad at? I mean, what do they want you to do? Put a box inside a box? It's crazy. Do you use IL, which stands for Inventory Lab, or to ship, or just list? Here's a confession. I do not use Inventory Lab. I do not use Inventory Lab. I used to use Inventory Lab, and I do carry that $50 a month price for it because I use Scoutify to source my apps. And the reason why is when I was listing on Inventory Lab, I could not for the life of me, and I'm sure I could do it now. I'm just kind of set in my ways, and I'm used to my own process and my own thing. But like, you know, when you would list the product, for instance, I was using it for books. Every time I scanned it with my scanner, I would put it in the inventory. It would come up, and then a label would come up and say, "Do you want to print a label?" And yes, I do want to print a label because they're all used books. It would come up on a full page. I couldn't get it to print right on my printer. It was more frustrating than not. I thought it was cool that you could type in your average cost and see your cost versus your profit. That's pretty cool. But at the end of the day, sometimes I was getting errors on it and all that stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to list it with the Amazon Seller app because I'm just able to just scan. I got all the information there and I'll just create it. You know what I mean? And because now I generally have Amazon do all the prepping and stuff. You know, I thought about going back to Inventory Lab. Just I know there's other features that are great. The reporting on Inventory Lab is really good too, but I just don't use it right now. I only pay the premium for Scoutify too. That's what I do. Let's see what else we got. What's up to everybody who's joining the live? Thanks for being here on this Friday night. Appreciate you being here. Get your drink. Yep. All right. Awesome. Y'all supported me on the drink. Let's see what we got here in the chat. Ask your questions in the chat. For those of you that are just joining, just doing a casual Q&A. Let's see. When I receive stuff from Amazon, it always comes really loose. Yeah. I mean, look. Hold on. Need a beer. Hold on. I got pant sets. What is the best way to ship? Got it at Walmart hidden clearance. The pant sets. So I actually scored a bunch of frying pans, and I was able to fit them in these. I think they were 22 by 14 by 10 boxes, and I had to like kind of like put it to the side so the handle would kind of like sit in the corner. But I was able to ship that away, and it just, I mean, just get them into a box and make sure it doesn't move, you know? Make sure you put your padding in there because you don't want the box to break. Salud. When I receive stuff from Amazon, it always comes released. Oh my God, tell me about it. So I get my returns sent back to me at my house, and they literally sent an item like this big. This is maybe 10 inches tall or whatever. In a box this big. It was ridiculous. And they put like a little bit of like bubble wrapping in there, but whatever. That's sometimes I don't understand why Amazon does that, but I'm looking at the box like, what the hell is this? All right. Did you have a wholesaler receipt to get Ungated and toys, specifically Legos? All right, so Legos, yes, I did use a receipt from a distributor. It's a funny story about Legos. So I was able to get Ungated in Legos because remember, when I first started, if you guys follow me, when I first started, I was pushing books. I was buying books, selling books. I actually got Ungated by a Lego book that had Lego pieces on the cover. And I got that from my book distributor that I was buying from. And I was able to submit that invoice because that particular book on Amazon was restricted from Lego. And I used that and I nailed it. And I was able to get Ungated in Lego. And then I was so gung-ho about going to get all these Legos and source all these Legos that I got all these Legos. I threw all my knowledge out the window and I just bought. Oh, great deal. I'm going to sell. Wasn't doing research, and I got killed. And I had to take a loss on almost half of those sets because I didn't pay attention. But this past Lego haul that you saw me do, I believe it was last month or September, when Walmart was blowing out of Legos, I knew better this time. And those sold like as they were getting checked in. They sold really quick, which was great. That's what you want to happen. But generally, yes, most of the toys or brands that I'm got Ungated in, I did not submit a invoice. I was just auto ungated, probably most likely because I was selling a lot of books. Amazon has to trust you, and when Amazon sees that you're selling a lot of something, even if your margins aren't there, sometimes I would sell things. If something was going to sell right away and I was only going to make like $1 when I first started, I would buy it. I would buy it just because I wanted my volume to go so high that I wanted Amazon to see that I was selling so much that that I'm telling you, that's what helped me. I know that's what helped me get ungated in some of these toy brands and in categories.
Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like this video, please like it, and if you really like my channel, please subscribe by pressing the subscribe button. If you don't know where the subscribe button is, get the fuck out of my face.
If you don't use Inventory Lab, do you use anything for bookkeeping? Yes, I do. So I use GoDaddy Bookkeeping. It is phenomenal. Integrates right with Amazon. Integrates if you go sell on eBay. Integrates with eBay. Integrates with Etsy. Integrates with PayPal. It integrates with all the software. I would definitely check it out. It's only $10 a month. I'm not sure if there's a link in the description. It's not an affiliate link. Like, I don't make any commission, but I think I might have put it in the description as something I use. If not, I will after this live, because I think it's a phenomenal tool for $10 a month. It integrates and pulls all the Amazon fees and everything. It's really good. GoDaddy Bookkeeping is what it is called. It has an app for your phone. You can link your bank accounts, whatever it is. That's what I use. I love it. I've been using it for almost 2 years now. Can you talk about how, Logan says, can you talk about how to grow a YouTube brand around reselling? What tips do you have? Have other platforms like IG or Twitter been helpful for your YouTube growth? Great, phenomenal question, Logan. And what I could tell you is, let's start with the first question you asked was, can you talk about how to grow a YouTube brand around reselling? Honestly, I'm very blunt. This is what I did. I watched a lot of videos, and I came across a video with Gary Vaynerchuk, or GaryVee as everybody knows him. And he said something that really stuck out to me, because I was definitely one of those people that said, well, you know, people are going to be interested in this. And I'd look at like Reezy Resells, and I would look at all those higher tiered resellers that have been doing this for a long time. And some of the things that all these resellers had in common is they were documenting their journey. They were showing you what they were doing, explaining. They were going to all these stores, basically showing the average person that might be interested in this, hey, I'm buying this, and what you thought was junk or trash, I'm making money off this. And the thing that got me started was GaryVee said, people focus too much about trying to get started. You try to focus on, like, you know, is my equipment good enough? Are people going to like me? Am I going to sound dumb? Am I going to be able to talk right? And then he goes, and then you have the people that have made it. And those people simply document their journey. He said himself, GaryVee, all he does is he just documents his journey. He puts out videos almost every day, if not every day. And he documents his journey. It's that simple. So what I said to myself was, you know what? When I go out to these places, I'm going to document what I find. And I started with my cell phone. Cell phone. I used to have an iPhone before I switched over to Samsung gang. Hashtag Samsung gang is the best for life. But I used to use an iPhone. And I used to video stuff. And then I bought a GoPro, a used GoPro. I think I started with a used GoPro 8. Or maybe it was new. I can't remember. But I spent a couple $100 on it. And I spent the money I made from my Amazon, right? And then I got my Samsung phone, which now records in 4K, and I was able to upgrade all the equipment in incremental. So what I would say about growing a YouTuber brand is, don't worry about, you know, what you're going to sound like, what you're going to look like. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you know, on your first couple videos, no matter what you do, you know what you're going to sound like? You're going to sound like crap. You're going to suck. That's just it. And you have to be okay with that. You know what I mean? Yo, I still have my first, second, third videos up, and I go back and I look at them sometimes, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so horrible. It looks like there's a spotlight on me because I was trying to do lighting. It's like really dark. And it's just like, it's so bad. But I keep it up because I want people to see. And even now when I record, look, I'm not the best speaker. I just speak the way I want to speak. That's me. You know what I mean? We don't do teleprompters around here. I don't need to be, proper for anybody. This is who I am. You can either accept it or not accept it, right? So you can either choose to watch my stuff or choose not to watch my stuff. Either way, I don't hate anybody for that. But that's how I grew. I documented my journey. Every time I went out to a store, I was recording myself. Anytime that I used to do, when I was trying to get money a few years ago to start my business, I was working my full-time job and I'm like, how am I going to start a business? I was driving Uber Eats to make that extra money to start the business. You know what I mean? Because when we work, you're supporting a family, all your money goes to bills and you don't want to start taking from your savings because what if it doesn't work? So I literally was driving Uber Eats and all that money I was saving for my Amazon business. And what I would do is in my car, I would record a series that's still on there. You can see the playlist called like the hustle something. And I would sit in my car and just kind of talk about things, like whatever it was. But I was trying to create content. And honestly, I look back and I'm like, wow, was I really like that? You know what I mean? But it's all good. You just got to document and you just got to start. Sorry I took so long on that. Let me see. I got, real quick before I answer your next question, we have a super chat from Mr. Buys a Lot. Much love. I appreciate that. Salud. Chi. Let's get it. Thank you. So now just to finish your second question is, what tips do you have? I kind of just said it. Just document. Use your cell phone. Don't worry about being perfect. Just start. Have other platforms like IG or Twitter been helpful for your YouTube growth? So yes, I am a person, I do not go on Facebook. It looks like I go on Facebook because everything I share from Instagram, like I have it linked to Facebook, and like same thing with Twitter and like YouTube, right? I share things to Facebook, but I'm never on Facebook, except for when I'm promoting. That's the only time I'm on Facebook. It's when I'm trying to promote my video, trying to get people to like. So platforms like IG and Twitter have been helpful because I'm able to use other platforms to get, especially IG. When I hit 10K followers and that swipe up feature happened, that was a game changer. Now, for those of you that don't have a swipe up feature or you're not at 10K yet, what I would do is I would put my what do you call it? What do you call that damn thing? I can't remember what the hell it is. But I would, I lost my train of thought now. Anyways, yeah, so that's that. When I got the swipe up feature, that was like a game changer. You know what I mean? Let's see. You said you mostly do wholesale and fill the gaps with RA. Yep. How do you go about finding a vendor that consistently makes up most of your Amazon income? So it's about finding multiple vendors, not just relying on one. For the longest time, I was relying on like one or two vendors. Big mistake. You gotta have at least, the more the merrier. If you can get 4, 5, 10, 20, however many vendors, right? Because they go out of stock. And somebody just put in Linktree. Yes, I was using Linktree, but I'll get to that in a second. I was using vendors, a bunch of them. So just get more vendors if you find that they're not enough. How do you go about finding a vendor that consistently makes up more of your Amazon income? Yeah, and the reason why you need to have multiple vendors is because you have to make sure, for the longest time, some vendors will be out of stock on something and you've been selling that item hand over fist. It's like your money maker, right? You've got 1, 2, 3 like solid replenishable money makers, right? But all of a sudden you have 3 vendors that are out of stock. You're only working with 3 vendors and now you're like, what am I gonna do? They're out of that product. month goes by, not in stock. 2 months go by, not in stock. But somebody else that might have had 5 or 6 vendors, one of their vendors has it and they're ordering from them. So make sure the more the merrier. Don't just stop. If you get 1, 2, 3 accounts, don't stop there. Make sure you get a lot of distributors to work with. Trust me. Let's see, Richie, any ideas as to what the hot Christmas toy will be this season? You know, that's a good question. I really don't. I mean, I'll tell you this. I, for the longest time, really thought that the Mario Lego set that came out was going to be like one and done. And now I see that being replenished everywhere. I don't know. I don't know what's going to be the hot item. I mean, besides the obvious, like PlayStation 5, pre-ordered mine, is coming out on the 12th, right? Obviously, that's going to be a hot item. And obviously, you're not going to be able to get it until they might do another drop before Christmas because supply and demand, they want that out of there, right? I don't know. I don't know. There is a trending Monopoly, unicorn Monopoly. It's like a Monopoly Junior unicorn that's trending really hot right now, but I'm not sure if the margins are there because I haven't even seen the price of it in the retail stores. So not too sure, actually. It's been a crazy year, so I don't know. Let's see, Frontier Flipper, I part Lego sets out and sell pieces individually. Interesting. Lego discontinues sets usually after 3 years. So I'm curious, Frontier Flipper. So you take Lego sets and you take the pieces and you group them together and you sell certain pieces of a Lego set, or you take, for instance, like the big yellow bins of Legos and you group them and sell them. That's actually pretty good. Let's see, Chris L says, how do you budget and what you'll spend when you go into stores since Amazon pays every 2 weeks? How do you pay yourself out on a weekly or a bi-weekly basis? So I'm going to share something with you, Chris. I give myself daily payouts. And no, I don't use Payability. I am able to cash out through Amazon every single day. As long as I have an available balance, I can cash out once every 24 hours. I'm not sure why. I haven't asked. I'm not sure if I'm verified a certain way or because I run an LLC. I'm not sure who else is able to have daily payouts. I've only heard of a few people actually having daily payouts like myself. I guess it's really not common. So I'm not sure what that entails, but I pay myself out every single day, Monday through Friday. Saturday, Sunday, I just wait till Monday to pay myself and so on. So I give myself daily payouts so I can use that capital to source. Let's see. I can't find me a Kokomo. So guys, if you're just joining again, it's probably the last time I'll say it. Casual Q&A. If you got some questions, ask me in the chat below. Make sure you smash that like button so you can tell everybody that you're enjoying the hustle and that you are a hustleaholic. Smash that like button. Much appreciated. Let's continue. Let's see. Okay. Document, don't create. Exactly. That's exactly right. And you know, when you document things, it's not going to come out right all the time. But that's okay. You know what I mean? You'll get better as you watch yourself, as you get constructive criticism and feedback from other people. You just got to start, you know? Did you ever private label a product or still do? That's asked by John Sortais. And I do not do private label. I have thought of it. I don't currently do it. It's. I probably could venture into it. Private label is one of those things where you do not want to mess it up. And I know that's the best form of learning is messing up, but you don't want to make a $5,000 to $10,000 mistake because you invested $5,000 into a product that doesn't sell. I'd probably have to do a lot on my end, me personally. I'd have to do a little bit more research on keywords and like all this type of stuff that'll help people find my product. So I've thought about private label, and I think I will try it. I'm not ready at this point in time to do it. Let's see. GDL says, "Is that the fun bed?" Linktree, yeah. So I just want to talk about Linktree real quick because I know Linktree was when we were talking about the YouTube or the Instagram rather, when I didn't have swipe up. So I was using Linktree. The problem with Linktree is when you click it, it brings you to another set of links, and you got to click twice. And I don't know about you, but I know that a lot of people, they just don't have the patience to do that second click. You know what I mean? Plus, when I would do a new video, I would say link in bio. When you clicked my direct YouTube link to my video and you clicked it and it would come up on the screen, it starts playing for me. If I click a Linktree and then I have to look through a couple links, I might just be like, I'll look after or whatever. I just would rather say link in bio, and then in my bio, you're allowed to have that one hyperlink on Instagram, right? Just have them go in and click that one link, which is your latest video or the video you're trying to promote. So that way, when they click it and pulls up, you automatically get that view. Whether they stay for a minute or 5 or 20 or whatever, you're going to get that view. So that's how I did it. Did you cold call vendors and set up accounts, or did you just find them online? So I did a lot of emailing and searching online for them. But I know if I called vendors, I'd probably have better luck in some instances. But I just did emailing. Do you enjoy yard sales and estate sales or just RA? Which one is better in your area? So I do like yard sales, and I haven't actually sourced in an estate sale because I don't do eBay. And Mercari is a little slow on some items. It's definitely not the volume that eBay does. And I'm not in the business of selling used items, barely any used items on Amazon. So I do enjoy yard sales and estate sales. And I'll buy things. If I feel like it's worth it to push on Mercari, then absolutely. And if I sold on eBay, I'd be buying a ton more. But I do enjoy yard sales. Haven't been to an estate sale. So basically, I just do RA. I did do a video on yard sale, though. So if let Amazon prep your goods, do you just send them all as is and they take care of everything? I held out on some good money Nerf toys because they were huge and exposed. Yeah, so if they're going to prep it, obviously the toy is going to be brand new. And basically all I'm doing is if it's plush or glass, for instance, if it's plush or if it's clothing, I have Amazon polybag it. If it's glass, fragile, even if it's in you can go to TJ Maxx and get a set of 4 glasses in a box. Even that, I'll pack it nice, but I want Amazon to bubble wrap it all. Or sometimes I'll bubble wrap it. The only time I'll actually prep it myself is if it's something like a Ray Dunn item, where it's like an exposed coffee mug or something like that. I'll do it myself, because honestly, if I stick that coffee mug in the box, it's probably going to get broken. I'm going to have to wrap it anyways, right? So that's what I do for that. And when you say exposed, what do you mean by exposed? When you talk about daily payouts, do you mean the place where you can request a transfer? I can do this, but it's never the full available balance. Right. So yeah, so look, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So you'll never get the full balance unless you wait the appropriate time. But I do daily payouts, and that's enough to give me, a good clean amount every day, because that amount's being made available to me. And the way they do that is, just for people who don't know out there, Amazon pays you based on a 7-day cycle. So somebody buys your product from Amazon.com, Amazon sends it to them on Monday, say they get it on Wednesday, you get paid 7 days, not from Monday, from when they ordered it. They received it on Wednesday, so you get paid 7 days. That money from that sale will be available 7 days from Wednesday. So the following Wednesday, at the time of the delivery, it even goes to the time of the delivery, it will be available to you on that day. I guess a better way to phrasing is, my question is, how do you separate capital that you'll spend to flip things with a personal capital for bills and such? I feel like that all my capital blends. Yeah, so I do have a business account, and generally all my purchases, right, all my sourcing, all my purchases goes through my business. If I buy supplies, it goes through my business. And honestly, I work out of my home. I pay a lot of my bills out of my business. What I do is I set up a transfer, and I should really cut myself a check, but I do transfer myself some money out of the business as of recently. I have to do a little bit more research on the implications of that because I don't know if it looks like a cash transfer or whatnot. But I want to start looking into paying myself, taking a cut of my business, because this is all working up to the bigger picture, right? So I need to, anything I really pay for, honestly, comes out of my business. And what I'll do is, if I'm going to take personal money, I transfer that to a separate account that I'm going to use for personal funds. But I do pay like my electric bill, my gas bill, and even one of the truck payments I pay out of my business. Because at the end of the day, when I'm writing taxes, I'm going to write that off. My cell phone bill, I pay it out of my business. Pay it out of my business. I go out to eat, I pay it out of my business. Everything's a write-off, and I'm not a tax advisor. Don't take this as advice. Don't take anything. Do your own research. Definitely talk with a tax consultant. But a lot of things, if you work out of home, a lot of things you can write off. So, that's what I do. Even with separate accounts sometimes, yeah. I'm a new seller, account open for a month, and I was able to request my payout. It took 2 business days. Yes, so it takes 2 business days. So request it early Monday, you'll get it Wednesday. Tuesday, you'll get it Thursday. Wednesday, you'll get it Friday. Thursday is a toss-up. Friday, you're definitely going to get it Monday or Tuesday. But sometimes if you request it early enough on Thursday, you'll get it on Saturday. Doesn't happen every time, but sometimes I've gotten my payment on a Saturday. But after Friday, I don't request anything on Saturday, Sunday. I wait till Monday, and that's how I do it. Let's see. How long did it take you to get monetized for YouTube? I guess hit the 1K subs in the hours. Yeah, so I can tell you that I was able to hit the 1K subs before the 4,000 watch hours, and honestly, I thought it was going to take. It literally took me about like over a year. It took me a year, and there were so many times where I was sitting there going, "Wow, I'm making this content, and I feel like I'm wasting my time." When you're only gaining 1 or 2 subscribers a day, sometimes you're not gaining any subscribers in a day, and it's easy for you to just like get down on yourself, like, is this really going to work out? I promise you, if you stick with it, it took me a year, maybe a year and a half to get that 1K, literally. Now, that's the case with most. Some people will hit that 1K in like 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. It happens, but it doesn't happen often. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen often. And the 4,000 watch hours came a couple months after. I remember it was in November. It was in November of, was it last year? I think it was November of last year. I hit it, and I was like jumping for joy. I was like, oh my God, you get the email invitation saying you can now monetize your stuff, right? So you're all excited. You hit the 1K, you hit the 4,000 watch hours, you get the invite, you gotta get monetized. You're like, oh, I'm staying up all night. And by the way, I had filmed almost 100 or more videos before I was monetized, okay? We're talking like 100, 120 videos that I did without getting paid. Before I was able to, it's work and it's consistent. If you do it consistent, let me just finish my thought and I'll get into that. So you get all these happy things, you get that email, you're like, oh, I'm gonna monetize, yes, woo, right? And then the email says to you, we're reviewing your account for monetization. Thank you for applying. We will get back to you within 30 days. And I'm just like, oh my God. I gotta wait another 30 days after I waited a year. over a year. I was so disappointed. But I was like, oh my God, really? I gotta wait another 30 days? So, and then just to like piggyback off that, you know, if you're doing, obviously to reach those milestones to get monetized, it's gonna be a lot easier if you are consistent and you're uploading frequently. Okay? Frequently, not once a week. If you do once a week, it's gonna take you a long time. Okay? It took me a while to realize that. And somebody, shout out to Andres Hunt, I'll never forget the words he said to me, because I was asking him. He's got over 200,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I said, you know, I don't get it. You know, I record 2-3 times a week. I'm trying to put out content. I'm like, it's crazy. I'm like, how do you do it every day? He goes, well, did you hear yourself? He goes, if you want YouTube to pay you, then you have to show up to work every day. And I'm like, it's just so obvious. Like, it's so true. If you think about, if you have a job now, right? If you have your 9-to-5 job now, if you didn't show up to work every day, you wouldn't get paid, right? Obviously, there's going to be someone that's going to say, oh, you can use vacation or personal. No, we're talking, if you don't go to work, you don't get paid, right? And that's the same thing. That's how I look at YouTube now. And that's why I try to upload either every day, every other day. I try to, I really try to get that work in, because this is my hustle. You know what I mean? I'm documenting the journey. Took me a while. It was frustrating, but I got it in. Exposed as in you can touch the Nerf gun. Oh, okay, yeah, well, packaging. Yeah, so, I mean, if it doesn't have any type of plush or you know, soft material on it, then I think you could just send it in as is. I don't think it's a poly bag is required, even though Amazon might do that. But let me see. Logan, it's Kobe, 4,000 hours. I'm curious how long it took. Yeah, it took a while. I really was getting frustrated. I didn't give up though. And now, straight to the moon. Yeah, if you've taken like 6 to 9 months. Yeah, listen, in 6 to 9 months is a great time frame, and you could do that as long as you're consistent. You know what I mean? Consistency. Let's see. Did you ever think seller fulfilled orders are worth the time? I mean, yeah. I mean, if the profit margin's there, you know, I generally don't sell merchant fulfilled unless the margins are there. Every time I calculate the fees and shipping, seller fulfilled shipping costs make it less profitable than FBA. Only worth it for Q4. So the key to do merchant fulfilled is you either have a big item like those chandeliers I was talking to, and you bought them for so cheap, $30-$35, and you're selling them for such a high price. Like, I paid $50 shipping for those, $40-$50 shipping a piece for those. I would never do that if I bought the item for $100, you know what I mean, and sold it for $200, because fees and shipping, I'd make what, $10? It just wouldn't be worth it. So the key to merchant fulfilled is lightweight items. You know, Amazon based its pick and pack fee based on weight. There is, you could go to Amazon.com and they tell you their fee structure and what they charge for pick and pack based on the weight. You can check that out. But you don't, I'm sorry, the referral fee, not the pick and pack. Because pick and pack is FBA. Lightweight items, you generally have better chance of merchant fulfilling than heavier items, and items that are going to at least make the margin, you know, obviously when you're using the breakdown to see your profit and stuff. Is Richie Hustles a separate business from your Amazon Mercari business, registered separate bank account, etc.? So Richie Hustles to me is a brand, more of a brand than a company. I do have an LLC. I have two. I have one sole prop for my books, and I do have an LLC, which is for my Amazon. As YouTube grows bigger, I told myself that if I hit, or when, not if, when, right? When I hit 10K subscribers on YouTube, I am going to set up another LLC for the Richie Hustles brand. Or it might be the Hustleaholics brand. You know what I mean? We don't know. Because I know merch is going to come out. I want to do merch and stuff like that. I'm all about business and branding and stuff. So, you know, Richie Hustles is more of a brand right now. And Richie Hustles is separate on my Amazon. Like on my Amazon, you'll never see a seller named Richie Hustles. There's only one Richie Hustles. What it's only plush? Thought just anything that can be touched. Good to know. Yeah, so look, like when you're doing your FBA and you're trying to select the prep, check out like where it says, you know, apparel, plush, whatnot, and you can see it right there, like Super Mario figures that come, like, you know, the 2.5 inch and the 4 inch Mario figures. I don't. Those aren't required to be polybagged. You know, but like the Elmos that are in a box, but the front of the box is open where you could actually touch the fabric, those have to be polybagged, you know? Merchant Fulfilled is perfect for this time of year, and I often win the buy box with it as long as the margins are there. Yep, exactly. Example, the Black Series, yeah, the Ashoka figure just came out. Yeah, absolutely. If the margin is there, then you know, the margin's there, then that's what. 1 second. 1 second. Like those figures are super lightweight, and hold on. All right. So these live streams are awesome. Thanks, Logan. I appreciate it, man. So, like I said, like your action figure that came out is lightweight. You know what I mean? It's lightweight. That's a perfect example. As long as the margins are there, lightweight, that's how you do it. Bought up 5 of them, sold them before I got home. 75% ROI. Yeah, worth it to me. Absolutely. Do you plan on getting invoices for big names like Nike or just wait for the auto Ungate? I don't know. I mean, Nike would be great to sell in, but I'm not really interested, to tell you the truth. It's not like my goal to get Ungated in Nike. Would it be nice? Absolutely. There's a ton of stuff at TJ Maxx, Marshalls I could be crushing. The Nike outlets when they have their sales, like I could be crushing it in Nike. It's not my goal though. I would like to get, I think the only way that I'm going to be able to be Ungated in Nike is through an invoice. I have heard people getting auto Ungated in Nike, but I think that's like very few, far in between, and probably back in the day. Logan, thank you for the love, these shoes are awesome. Appreciate it. Oh, and Logan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Much love, Hustleaholics for life. Much appreciated. Thank you, Logan. I really appreciate that. Salud, chin chin. Drink to that. So what repricer do you use? My inventory is getting up there and not sure. And guys, listen, I'm probably going to call it quits in about, we've been live for about an hour, 10 minutes. I'm probably going to stay on about another 9 minutes before I call it quits. So I do want to finish your questions here. Smash that like button if you're enjoying this live. And if you enjoy the hustle, please hit the like button. It helps me out with the algorithm on YouTube. Thank you. So what repricer do I use? My inventory is getting up there and not sure which one to get. So I started using Bqool or Bqool. I'm going to call it Bqool. Bqool. There's actually a link in the description. It is an affiliate link. I use it for my second account now. I was using it for my first account, but I did find another repricer that was very competitive in price and reprices it quicker. That's called ChannelMax. So I use ChannelMax for my main Amazon, and I use Bqool for my book second Amazon account. That's what I use for my repricers. And the only difference is for the same price that I'm paying Bqool, $35, it reprices every 15 minutes. ChannelMax up to, I think it's 10,000 SKUs, they'll reprice every 2 to 3 minutes for $45. And if I want Bqool to reprice every 5 minutes, I have to spend $100 for 10,000 SKUs. So I use ChannelMax, no complaints, easy platform to work on. The only complaint I would say is their interface on a cell phone. They don't have an app. I don't think Bqool has an app either, but ChannelMax doesn't have an app, and even on the Samsung, it uses Flash and Java, and like the windows get messed up. And the iPhone, I tried an iPhone, it's even worse than an iPhone. So I definitely use my computer for it. I like it. I love that it reprices every 2 to 3 minutes, keeps me competitive. No complaints. Let's see. Thanks for the answers today, man. Yeah, Kobe, listen, thank you for being here. Brian says, yeah, the shipping on all that, like $4 or $5 tops, I could ship it for FBA and make a little more, but by that time, the price is going to tank. Yeah, sometimes that happens, man. MF is definitely the fastest way to sell your product, you know? As long as if you're getting that buy box, that's fantastic. And I know a lot of merchant fulfilled sellers are getting that buy box, so that's great. Thanks for all the answers today, man. No, Kobe, thank you for being here. Much love, much appreciated. Brian D'Souza, thank you for the $5 super chat. You know what? I forgot that all these come with like things. Let me just start at the beginning real quick with Mr. Buys a Lot. His super chat, he said, love the hustle, Richie. You work hard, so you deserve success. Much appreciated. If you're still here after this hour and 13 long live. Logan, his last super chat said, you're an inspiration. Thanks for sharing your hustle. Hashtag make millions. Hashtag hustleaholics for life. And Brian D'Souza coming in with a $5 super chat. Another $5 because Logan had $5 from a fellow mass soul to another. Keep hustling. Salud da chin chin. I'll drink to that. Thank you very much, Brian. Much appreciated. Let's see. eBay addicts in the building. I just came by to show Richie Hustle some support. Big shout out to eBay addicts. If you guys haven't, you should check out his channel. He's had interviews with so many different resellers. And if you're looking for people that sell on Amazon, Mercari, Poshmark, Amazon, definitely check out eBay Addicts YouTube. He has interviewed a lot of people, including yours truly. Check out his YouTube. There's a lot of resellers on there that talk a lot of good stuff. So, RG Slot wins, thumbs up. You already know. Let's see. What does your wife think about you reselling? Does she get mad about you spending all your time hustling? And then John says, my wife gets irritated sometimes, especially when I want to leave and source all day. So what does my wife think about me reselling? She doesn't say anything. She lets me do what I gotta do, you know? I do work out of my garage. So sometimes in the wintertime it gets cold, I work in the house. She gets on me a little bit about making a mess in the house, but what wife doesn't, right? But other than that, you know, she understands that I'm trying to build an empire for us. You know what I mean? Me, my wife, my kids, our future. So, you know, I think she understands that, you know, sacrifice now for relaxation later. You know what I mean? All right. Well, guys, if you don't have any more questions, I'm going to take off. I'm thinking about doing this every week, having a Q&A session. And this Sunday, I think I'm actually going to get into a store. I might head into a Dollar Tree. I might head into somewhere, but I'm going to do another live. The only thing I'm nervous about is, you know, I go to Walmart and Target because I can I can link up to their Wi-Fi. I don't think Dollar Tree has Wi-Fi. And I think if I go live on cellular service, it's going to be real choppy. So I'm going to do a test run tomorrow. You might see me do a live. Like, I'm just going to try to get online. And then for like maybe a minute, I'll say hi to everybody just to test it out, to see if it's going to be worth it. If not, you'll see me in Walmart or Target on Sunday. I'll keep you posted on a time. I appreciate you all for being here. And guys, from the bottom of my heart, like, you didn't have to spend your Friday night with me, but you did. And I appreciate you hanging out. I appreciate all the questions. And maybe I'll see some of you guys out in the field. Peace out, guys. Love you all. Adios.